Welcome back, Curry Crew, and a great travesty has occurred. Taco Bell has taken away two of our menu favorites in the cheesy Fiesta potatoes and the Mexican pizza. Now, some might be wondering, what are they afraid of? Are they afraid that a population with a belly full of Mexican pizza and cheesy Fiesta potatoes is too powerful? Maybe. But fear not, because we're taking that power back. Why? Because today we're gonna recreate Taco Bell's Mexican pizza and their cheesy Fiesta potatoes. The revolution has begun. Live Mas. So first let's start with our cheesy Fiesta potatoes. So what I did was take a few peeled potatoes and I cut them into bite-sized cubes. You want to take about 2 cups worth of potatoes after they have been washed and peeled. Once your potatoes are cut, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of salt to a pot of boiling water. And along with the salt, we're also going to add in 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So this is going to help the potatoes stay nice and fluffy on the inside, but get really crispy on the outside when we cook them. Shout out to Kenji Lopez of Serious Eats and Rachel Ray for this technique. So once this is done, add in all of your cubed potatoes into the water and boil them for about 7 to 8 minutes. I don't know why Taco Bell did this, especially this year out of all years. Like, they couldn't just let us enjoy the good things in life for 1 more year. Anyways, while our potatoes are boiling, we can just start making the mix for them to get coated with. So into a mixing bowl goes 1/4 cup of whole wheat flour, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/8 teaspoon of white pepper. Next, we're going to add in half a teaspoon of chili powder, then half a teaspoon of onion powder, then half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and I'm also going to add in a pinch of mustard powder, and finally 1/4 teaspoon of red chili powder or cayenne pepper. Give it all a nice little mix, and you can also use a whisk if you want. You just want to make sure there's no lumps in there. Next, once our potatoes are done, you can strain them and let them sit for about 10 to 15 minutes until they cool down a bit before you start handling them, or else you're going to burn your hands. After about 10 minutes, place the potatoes in a mixing bowl and coat them with some oil. So you can use avocado oil, canola oil, whatever you want. I'm using avocado oil because it's pretty much tasteless and it has a really high smoke point, so it won't burn when we start cooking with it. Give the potatoes a gentle toss in the oil until they are fully coated, and then drop them into the flour and spices mixture from earlier, and again, gently toss until they are evenly coated. Once that is done, we can place them onto a baking tray lined with some parchment paper, and we also have preheated our oven to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 205 degrees Celsius. And what we're going to do is we're going to bake our potatoes for 20 minutes, after which we will give them a quick mix and turn them over. Then we're going to cook for another 20 minutes, and then again 1 more quick mix and turn over, and then cook for a final 10 minutes. And that should make them really nice and crispy on the outside, but still soft on the inside. Now, while our potatoes are cooking, let's start working on our Mexican pizza. So we're going to make refried beans and enchilada sauce, both of which are going to go on the inside of the pizza. So in one pan, add 1 tablespoon of avocado oil, and then in another pan, add 3 tablespoons of avocado oil. Let it heat up for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then into the first pan, you are going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of cumin powder, 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. Now add in 1/4 teaspoon of red chili powder or cayenne, and then give it a nice little mix. Then add in 1/4 cup of water and 1 15-ounce can of washed and strained pinto beans. Give it a nice little mix, and then let it cook until the water starts reducing. Now for the enchilada sauce, we're going to add in 1/4 cup of whole wheat flour and give it a quick little stir, and then we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder, salt and pepper to taste, 1/4 teaspoon of red chili powder or cayenne pepper, and then give it all a nice little mix. Then add in 2 cups of vegetable broth and 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Give it all a nice little mix, and remove any clumps that might be in there, and then bring it to a simmer. Once the sauce is smooth, you can turn off the heat, and then we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of white or apple cider vinegar and give it a quick little mix, and then set it aside for later. For our beans, once most of the water is gone, you can take a spoon or a fork and just mash up your beans. You can mash up about half, keep the rest whole, give it a quick mix, and our beans are done as well. Take off the heat and set aside for when we start assembling. Next, take a shallow pan filled with about half a cup of avocado oil, and once it is warm, we're gonna pan fry some flour tortillas for our Mexican pizza. So these will be the 2 shells of our pizza. So you want to cook them on both sides for a few minutes until it's nice and crispy on both sides, and then you're gonna rest it onto the side until it is time to assemble. So now let's make a really quick queso for our cheesy Fiesta potatoes. So into a pan goes 1 can of evaporated milk and 1.5 cups of shredded cheese. I'm using pepper jack and sharp white cheddar, but feel free to use yellow cheese, even Monterey Jack, or even like American cheese, whatever is your preference. Make sure to shred your own cheese instead of pre-shredded. They usually have anti-caking agents on them, and that's gonna make your queso like really lumpy and not that great. So into this, I'm also gonna add in a pinch of garlic powder, a pinch of onion powder, salt and pepper to taste, and a pinch of red chili powder or cayenne. Give it all a nice little mix, and then add in 1 teaspoon of cornstarch as your binding agent to bring it all together. And then mix it all together using a whisk so that you can get rid of any lumps. And once your cheese is melted, your queso is pretty much ready to go. So there we have it, our 5-minute queso. So now let's assemble our Mexican pizzas. So take 1 tortilla and place it on a baking sheet lined with some parchment paper. Then top this tortilla with some of our enchilada sauce from earlier. And then you're gonna add in also some of your refried beans. Now you could add some ground beef or meat to this Mexican pizza, but I'm making this vegetarian, so I'm just gonna top it with the second tortilla from earlier. And then I'm gonna top this second tortilla with some more of our enchilada sauce. And then I'm gonna top it with some shredded cheese. Then we're gonna bake this Mexican pizza in the oven for about 5 minutes or just until the cheese is melted. So guys, both our pizza and our potatoes are out of the oven, so let's start topping them up. So for the pizza, like Taco Bell, I'm also gonna add some chopped tomatoes, but unlike them, I'm also gonna add in some onion. This is just a personal preference of mine. You could also add spring onions or scallions if you want, but if you wanna just keep it like them, only add the tomatoes, you should be good to go. For our potatoes, I'm gonna top them with some of our delicious queso. Then I'm also gonna top with a dollop of sour cream. And then Taco Bell used to put scallions on their potatoes and then they randomly stopped. I don't know why, but I'm gonna add these scallions on there because they used to taste great when they had them. And there we have it, guys. Our awesome cheesy Fiesta potatoes and our Mexican pizza is all done and ready for this chef to dig in. So guys, the time has come to first taste our Mexican pizza. So I am not gonna wait any further. I'm gonna take a bite right now. Excellent. Who needs Taco Bell when you can make that kind of Mexican pizza at home? Now, let's move on to the cheesy Fiesta potatoes because they look amazing, guys. So I'm gonna take a potato, some sour cream, some cheese, spring onion. Taco Bell who? I don't even know a Taco Bell because these are amazing. So guys, we've made our 2 Taco Bell favorites at home. They've turned out amazing. They taste just as good. So I can't wait to keep making these at home and keep taking the power back to the people. So guys, with that being said, try it out at home, see how you like it for yourself, and keep on cooking.